Okay, the obligatory yearly Big in Japan sale has gone live on the PlayStation Store, and we have a bunch of games that are, I guess, technically big in Japan. This ordinarily is tied to TGS and other events that happen in Japan. TGS, for those who aren't aware, is Tokyo Game Show. It's where they show off a lot of new Japanese developed games. Basically E3, but for Japan. Normally it's kind of tied to the same thing. And normally this is kind of where all that sort of stuff happens. So normally Sony do a sale to try and take advantage of the event. Big Japan has just under 400 games discounted in this sale, and I thought it's something a little bit different this time. Why don't I go through the whole thing and sort of break down some of the stuff I see as we go through it. We can have a bit of a conversation about it, probably a little bit more of a comprehensive look at it than I normally do. So we're just going to have a look at all of the deals and offers that are available, and then I'll do separate breakdown videos for that as well. Let me know if you like this format in the comments down below. Leave a like if you haven't already. Yeah, let's have a look through here. So we've got straight off the bat, the top couple of rows are always like the heavy hitters. The first page especially are always the main titles in these sales. So we've got like the two Naruto games, Naruto to Boruto and Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. I really can't vouch for these because I haven't played the Naruto games, but if they're anything like other anime games, they're probably not very good. Most anime games are a little bit rough, but if you're a Naruto fan, obviously they're available. You've got Final Fantasy VII Integrate here, which is like the DLC expansion for Final Fantasy VII. Nier Replicant and Nier Automata Game of the Year or Game of the Yorha edition. I haven't played Replicant, but I have played Automata, and Automata was great if you like third-person action-adventure games, but with like more of a Japanese twist to them. So think like a combination of like a Souls-like game and a JRPG light, and it kind of fits into that space. It's different, but a lot of fun. And then you got Final Fantasy VII Remake here as well for $30. That was free on PlayStation Plus not long ago though, so I'm guessing a number of you guys probably already have that one yourselves. Scarlet Nexus is another game that came out actually this year. I'm not too sure about it yet. I'm kind of keen to check it out. I'm wondering whether or not this might actually be one that I do end up picking up because I'm quite keen to try it out. It looks sort of like just an anime RPG style game, but does look kind of fun. Neo The World Ends With You, I think is a Final Fantasy style game. I haven't played it myself though. Persona 5 Royal, obviously great. I recommend Persona all the time. Persona Royal is like the all-encompassing edition. It's kind of like the 1.5 version of Persona 5. They do that with a lot of Japanese games where they release like a 1.5 version, which is kind of like all the DLC plus a bunch of content updates and stuff like that and some extra content. So it's probably the better version of the game to be picking up at this point. Ninja Gaiden Collection is actually an interesting one because a lot of these games weren't even available on PlayStation consoles. I think some of them are exclusive to Xbox. Cool to finally see them on PlayStation, down to $30. This game only came out a couple of weeks ago as well. Street Fighter, let's skip over those. Let's talk about Dragon Ball Kakarot. If you like Dragon Ball, you've got, Kakarot here and Fighter Z. Fighter Z is your traditional Dragon Ball fighting game if you're looking for something like that. But Kakarot is more of an action RPG style game where you play as Goku and walk around the environment and kind of hack and slash kill enemies. If you're an older gamer like me, you might remember Dragon Ball Sagas, which released like on the PS2. It's similar to that, but a lot better in execution. Same premise and principle behind it though. Yakuza Like a Dragon is another really good one. It's a like different type of Yakuza game. This is actually a turn-based game rather than just a standard sort of action adventure. But if you enjoy Yakuza, this kind of like spin-off type game is a really good one to check out. Dragon Quest as well. Dragon Quest Echoes of the Elusive Age. I always recommend this. This is probably my favorite JRPG that came out on the PlayStation 4. I enjoyed it more than Persona, although I never finished Persona, so that could be part of it as well, but I really did enjoy Dragon Quest. I read it incredibly highly, so I do recommend checking that one out. What else we got here? Nothing else really here worth mentioning, just that Dragon Ball thing again. And One Piece World Seeker is the equivalent. It's like the One Piece version of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So if you're looking for an anime game that's less fighting and more action adventure, it fits into that as well. I realize I've spent a long time on the first page, so we're going to have to go a little bit quicker here. Monster Hunter World, good recommendation here. This one is free for PS5 Plus owners though, so I don't know. If you're planning on getting a PS5 anytime soon, don't get it. Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition, $20. They always do these deluxe editions on the PlayStation Store where they're just like a lot more expensive than they should be. The standard edition of this, I think, is like 12 or 15 normally. Take that with a grain of salt. You got Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD. I didn't even realize they came to PS4. For some reason, I think they were, I don't know, I thought they were PS3 games. So there's that. I'm a massive JoJo fan, but this JoJo Eyes of Heaven bundle is not very good. JoJo Eyes of, it's just a rough anime game. It feels, I don't know, it doesn't respect the anime very well, and it's just not a very fun game. And I love JoJo, so that's saying something. DLC, Danganronpa, if you haven't checked this one out, I do talk about it a little bit in a couple of my other videos, but it's basically like a visual novel game which are kind of games where you like read basically a book, but then mixed with your sort of light decision making and detective elements. So it's probably somewhere between like a Telltale game like The Wolf Among Us or The Walking Dead, mixed with like a LucasArts style adventure game like Day of the Tentacle, and then a visual novel as well, but then with like a quirky Japanese twist on it. Pretty good games though, and like something really, really different if you're looking for it. Final Fantasy, what is this? XII Zodiac Age. I think it's a fighting game. It's like not a mainline, well, it's a mainline game, but it's like a fighting game, I believe, like an arena fighting game. You've got Everybody's Golf. This one is actually really cool because no one ever talks about it, and it doesn't get discounted that often as well. It's basically a golf light game. It's not golf sim, it's more arcadey golf games. So you could probably compare it maybe like more to like an NBA Street, but with like less of that personality that NBA Street has and more JRPG style personality. It's actually a pretty fun game. It's published by Sony, developed by Sony as well. So it does actually have a slightly higher quality to it, and it's 50% off. This game isn't discounted super frequently, so it's a good time to jump in and grab this if you haven't played it. I do recommend it as like more of a stopgap game to play between like your big games, something a bit more chilled out. You've got another Danganronpa game, V3. Digimon World Next Order is another one that I do recommend. It's like a Digimon RPG. I was hoping this would be like a Pokemon game, but in the Digimon style, and it's not that. It is more of a JRPG with like some Pokemon light elements in it. It's not bad, it's just not as good as a Pokemon game. So if you're going into it expecting what I did, it's that. But I like Digimon as well, so you know, a lot of these anime franchises are contingent on, your enjoyment is contingent on you enjoying the anime. So if you like Digimon enough or Dragon Ball enough or these other franchises enough, you can sometimes overlook the jankiness of it. Although I would say the Digimon games do have a slightly higher quality to them than some of the other anime games that I was talking about earlier. This is kind of like an unpopular opinion, but Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I actually really enjoyed that game as like a fighting light game. As like a fighting game, I'm not like a big fighting guy, so I don't play for tournaments or anything like that. I don't know the intricacies of fighting games, but I did enjoy playing this one casually, playing as superheroes against Capcom characters, which are kind of two things that are pretty damn cool. So I enjoyed it, but I know not everyone does. Last Guardian's here, $10. Good price for Last Guardian if you're looking for an adventure game, but at this point, like at $10, there's so many other games I would recommend above it that, you know, I'm not going to really call that out specifically. Digimon Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory, I think, is the better of those two Digimon games, by the way. So if you're going to pick up one of those two, this one here is probably the one to go for. You've got here My Hero 1's Justice 2 Deluxe Edition. I really like My Hero Academia as well. I'm a huge My Hero fan, and this game didn't do it for me either. This is just a really simple arena fighter. Again, if you're like really into MHA, then maybe it is worth your time. But if you're not like a massive MHA fan, probably give this one a skip. It's also $30, which is probably a little bit overpriced, I would say, for a game like this. Dragon Quest Builders 2, for anyone who's out there who enjoys Minecraft style games, this is more of a building, crafting style game. Definitely worth checking out if you enjoy Minecraft. Absolutely, it's got cool like RPG style mechanics. I actually enjoyed this one way more than I thought I would, given it was like a Minecraft ripoff. If we keep going through here, we've got like more Persona, Trails of Cold Steel 3, Code Vein, Like a Dragon, but these are like all alternate versions of the same game that we've already talked about. Tales of Asteria is here for $9 if you like the Tales of games. And Code Vein here is 20. We've talked about Code Vein in another video, so I'm going to skip that one. Gravity Rush 2 we don't talk about very much. Like a really simple action-adventure game with like cool gravity controlling mechanics. It's interesting because the first one, the remastered one here, is $14 instead of $10, so I don't know how the heck that works, but you know it does. You got Mega Man Legacy Collection for $10. Pretty good for that if you're looking for like an old school 2D side-scroller style game. Cutting through some of this, Dragon Quest Heroes 2 I really did like as well. It is not an RPG, it's just a straight Musou style game, which is kind of like a hack and slash, just a hack and slash. That's the simplest way to explain what they are. Essentially they throw hundreds of enemies on the screen at you and you just have to hack your way through them. You're like really overpowered compared to them. So that's what those is. I enjoyed both Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, but they do get a little bit tedious. They're kind of good podcast games though, so if you play them with like a podcast in or something like that, they can be pretty enjoyable. Skipping through a few of these now. You've got the One Piece Warriors franchise. Again, they suffer from sort of what I talked about before, but you know, they're there if you're a One Piece fan. In terms of those, you've got Metal Gear Survive, probably, you know, an average Metal Gear game. You've got Ys, Memories of Celceta. That's a Vita game that I believe was ported to the PS4. if you're looking for that. Dragon Quest Builders 1 is here, $30, which is probably overpriced. Japanese games do tend to do that. They follow a almost Nintendo style of pricing, which is kind of unusual. Ni no Kuni 2 is a really good one if you're looking for an anime style JRPG to play. It's good. It's not as good as the first one, but it is still good. The first one had animation and storytelling from Studio Ghibli, so it was kind of exceptional in terms of a anime game or a JRPG style game. The second one's okay. Here's the Dragon Quest Heroes 1, The World's Tree Woe, and The Blight Below, which name is insane. It just it gets me every time. The Vanquish and Bayonetta bundle is like a must-have if you're an action-adventure fan or an action fan. Bayonetta is kind of like Devil May Cry, and Vanquish is like a third-person shooter that uses like this really cool slide mechanic. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't played those ones. Metal Gear Ground Zero is $3, which sounds like a good deal, but it's basically a demo for MGS5. If you haven't played MGS5, I think that's normally like $5 these days. So there's that. It's interesting, Balan Wonderworld is down to 20. This game came out earlier in the year. It's supposed to be like a mascot platformer, but arguably like got one of the worst review scores for any mascot platformer ever. So it's really, really rough. Made by the guy who created Sonic, but the game apparently just doesn't work. I do need to check it out though at some point. Maybe that's one I put, I don't know, should I put myself through that? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so here we go through this page. Not really a huge amount here worth mentioning. Again, more Mega Man, another copy of Ni no Kuni. I skipped on to the next page because there was nothing worth mentioning there. You got Wonderful 101 Remastered on this page though, which was like a Nintendo exclusive for the longest time until it got re-released last year, I believe, or it might have been at the beginning of this year it got re-released, which was super surprising to see that come to PlayStation consoles. It's a Japanese superhero style game. It's a little bit different than your traditional superhero games though, if you're looking for something kind of out there. This page here, I'm not seeing much on here either. So we're getting to the back of it now. Lost Sphere's good, but it's like a pretty hardcore JRPG. We're getting to the back end of it now where like you're getting a bunch of DLC content, deluxe editions, things like that. Page 11, page 12 of 17, so a couple more pages to go. But this is all becoming sort of DLC style stuff here. Nothing that's immediately like springing out to me. Like I said as well, I'll do a separate video kind of highlighting some of the like core things that I think are worth highlighting. If there's something like specific you want to see though, let me know in the comments below as well. Nothing through here. These are like smaller games. I'm seeing like a bunch of Radleaker stuff in here as well. So easy platinum games if you're looking for some like cash grab trophy games to pick up. Wouldn't recommend it though, but everyone can, but each their own, do whatever you want. A couple of visual novel things in here. No, I think that's everything. That's page 17. Yeah, that's everything. That's everything that's kind of worthwhile checking out, I would say. Like I said, I'll do a separate breakdown video for this and look at some of the specific things that I think are worth your time. And I'll probably do a video maybe even about the pickups that I'm picking up from the sale as well, because I think that could be interesting too. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this. Slightly different format, probably a bit more chilled out, less edited, something a bit different. I don't know if it works. If it doesn't work, it's probably a bit more raw. Let me know what you think though. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Give us a like, leave us a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Patreons for September. I want to give you a warm thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to each and every one of you for keeping all the lights on here at Platinum Trophy HQ. By supporting me either via Patreon or by a channel membership below, you'll see your names over here next to me if you are a Patreon or a channel member. Thank you, each and every one of you. If you also want to support the channel and help keep the lights on over here, you can do that by hitting the link in the description down below and joining me on Patreon, or clicking the join button on YouTube just down below, and you get access to emotes and some other exclusive things there as well. Every single cent counts. Thank you all for the encouragement and continuing to support this channel so I can continue making great content. Thanks for all those watching, as well as all my extra special supporters.